Hey everyone. Well, I have to say, I think this is the first video I've ever done that I wasn't really excited about. I don't know how I feel about this yet. This project. Oh, look, there's Navy's blocks. Um, I have been playing with this for a couple of days, and I've done several things here. The reason I wanted to do this, and people, I've seen it called paper lace and paper netting. And the reason I wanted to do it was because I had all of this tissue paper that I had tea dyed. Or, no, it's not tissue paper. It's tracing paper, but it feels like tissue paper. It's horrible. I mean, this is like probably 4, and look, it's not very thick. It's thinner than tissue paper, I think. It's not good. Anyway, I had tea dyed some of it, thinking it would make it a little heftier and easier to use, but it's not. And anyway, I was trying to figure out a way to use that. And I saw a picture of this, while flipping through YouTube, and I thought, ooh, that might be something that I could do with it because it tears easily anyway. So I just kind of watched a bunch of different videos, not the whole thing, and that's probably part of the problem is I get impatient and think I can figure it out. And, well, this is what I've got so far. And I have some other pieces. Now, this piece, yes, it is the tracing paper as well. This one I thought was tracing paper, but it's actually wax paper that I did a jelly print on, and I folded it in two and then did the sewing. And the back is really glossy because this one I did use a medium. I used the PVA glue and the water mixture because some people put things like that on there. Some put matte medium, yes paste, a whole bunch of different things I saw. And some did just like this one. They didn't put anything on it. It's just paper. And they just sewed it, and I'll show you how we got the holes. But this one I put yarn in it, and it is also tracing paper. It does have a good sound, I will say that. But I don't know how else I feel about it. So these were some that I did to show you how to, tear the holes. Now, they're just sewn. I didn't put any glue on these. Of course, I have a magazine page here and a piece of wax paper that's been tea dyed. And I'll tell you, when you sew it, I saw several different ways of sewing it. I did find the easiest way was to, run it through and then lift up your foot and bring it around and, turn it and go back through and just do a continuous stitch that way. So on the ends, I don't have all of those threads hanging out. So I'm just going to cut it where they will be scraggly looking. But as you can see, they're joined because I did it continuous. And I liked it this way better because I can't say, now I like grungy, but I can't say that this isn't just a bit much with all the strings when you do it, sew a strip, cut it off, sew a strip, cut it off. It's just, I don't know. I got real bored with that process. So I started doing it as a constant, you know, continuous sewing. And I like that better. And I like the fact that, like I say, there's still a lot of strings, which are hard to see. There you go. Still a lot of strings, but not as many. But the only bad thing about doing the continuous is when you move it in your foot, underneath your foot, you have to be careful to get your threads out of the way or you're going to end up with a wadded mess like this because then it, eats it down into where you're, oh, there's a good one, underneath where your bobbin is. So these two I've done because I think out of all the methods I tried, I liked this way better. But on the ones that I did put the PVA glue and water, they're stiffer, kind of crispy. And I don't know. I couldn't even decide whether I wanted to do the video because I'm not sure I really like it. Um, but then I made a couple of a writing spot, a couple of things, a writing spot, and I haven't glued anything down. So you see, I'm not committed to it yet. But I just put a piece of it behind with some cheesecloth on our Franken paper. I put some packing paper that I inked over, and then I cut a piece of this, and then just some cheesecloth and a little Tim Holtz guy. And I thought that was kind of cute or grungy, whatever. And then I did this one. I did the same thing with the packing paper, a piece of this kind, this one, with the girl, and just a word there. And I think I glued this one to a pocket. There's a pocket on this page. I think I like this. I do. Um, I don't know that I'm in love with it. A lot of the ways, I looked for ways that people used it, and the only thing I saw was a cover, a journal cover, which was cool, but I I don't know. And I did see also, that's a lie, they also showed it like they would put it on top of a page like this, where some of the underneath showed. Well, look, I'm hung up in my what? There we go. Um, Underneath, and then you could turn it; it would still be the whole page. I Again, that I don't even know why, other than I had all this tissue paper and I really wanted to use it. I'm not a fan of the glue because, of course, once you start wetting it to tear it, that glue wants to stick to itself. And I don't know. I don't like the crispy feel. I don't like that it just seems like in your journal it would probably break off, and I don't know. Maybe that's, if you, that might be the look you're going for. So again, that's how I decided. And on those, I should tell you a little bit more. So on these, I put down a piece of this awful paper, and I put my PVA and water on it, and then I just laid strings, horizontal, I'm sorry, vertical and horizontal. And they did theirs like in real neat rows. I didn't want that. I wanted mine to be all crazy looking. So as you can see, they're not straight. I just laid them down. On this one, I used tea-dyed twine, or, well, it's like crochet thread, really. And I wouldn't bother with using something tea-dyed because you can't even tell it other than the parts that are sticking out. This one that I glued, I just sewed. And then this last one, I used yarn. And see, I made mine kind of crazy looking in there. And I just used yarn. I also used some of this kind of, there's a bunch of thread of yarn. And it's very thin. I don't know the size. I always tear my wrapping thing off. How about that, Laura? I took the tag off. And I don't know what size this is. So something I should have kept the tag. I tore it off and leave it on my containers, drive Laura crazy. But anyway, so this is pretty thin. It really doesn't matter what size you use because, I mean, this is just thread and it looks fine. So after I glued all that down, then I let it dry. Then I did the process that I'm going to do with these. And like I said, I've seen a lot of people, some of them, one lady, she used glycerin to make her pages soft. And then she did this process. I think she might have used Yes Paste. And then another lady, and again, I'm not linking anybody because I really am not following anybody's tutorial. And honestly, I don't think they would want me to because I've made such a mess out of it. I'm going to grab my spray water. And then this is all you do. I mean, from after you sew it, you just, now, this is how I'm going to do it. This is not what I've seen. One lady dipped it in a warm bowl of water. Just the whole thing, just put it in the water. I'm not going to do that. I don't know. You could. It's probably way easier than what I'm going to do. So I just spray it, kind of rub that water down a little bit to get my paper kind of saturated. And then just rub it together. That's all they did to get the tears. And of course, it ain't gonna tear for me. Look at that. I mean, not one tear. I'm just rubbing the devil out of it and nothing. Okay, well, I'm gonna let that set a minute. But even without the tears, that's kind of cool looking, isn't it? But you can tear it with your finger. Some people did that. They took tweezers and tore it. There we go. Now we're getting tears. And just rub it together and it will tear. However, if you want big tears or small tears, or look, I tore the whole thing. See, that's what I'm saying. I don't know. I don't know if this is for me or not. I do like the clusters. I do like, the little addition of some background. I don't know. I just, I don't know. You let me know what you think of it. Do you use this? Do you have a better, do you do something that works a little better than this? I mean, I don't know. Anyway, so that's the wax paper, and I'm just going to let it dry, and then I may tear more holes in it. I don't know. And I have not tried it on a magazine page yet because, of course, it's a lot thicker. It may not want to tear quite as easily. Maybe that's why the one lady soaked it in the water. Maybe I'll spray the other side too. Look, I really jimmied that up, didn't I? Okay, I'm just going to rub it and see what happens. Nothing. Oh, well, it's starting to tear. That's not true. But look at that. Now that's a mess. That is not good. What a waste of time. Okay, listen. I know what you're thinking, and I agree. I don't know why I did this. I really don't. I I wanted to bring you something better. I was hoping that I would have better luck with it, and I'm sure. See, I don't like those perfect torn out spots. I wanted it. I'm gonna let it dry a little bit more, so maybe I can tear out some more grungy looking pieces versus the whole thing. I don't know. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to let it dry a little bit more. And like I said, I went over in my head, was I even going to show this video? Because I knew people are going to say, why'd you do that? I don't know. I don't know. I just saw it. I thought it looked different. And like I said, I was trying to figure out a way to get rid of some of this tracing paper, this horrible tracing paper. And was not going to even do it. Not even going to show this until I did the clusters. And I thought, you know what, that is kind of cool looking. I like that. I can see where that, makes neat stuff to a page, or like this, a writing card. And it would be kind of neat to just have clusters, like we make clusters for background and mass make or whatever. And I think the most interesting thing I did on this one, though, was color him green. His little shirt and hat, I like that. Kind of matched the colors in this a little bit. I don't know. Look, I've just tore this cheesecloth all to pieces. I do like it. I do think it's grungy. If I was going to do it again, like to use, I would probably take a smaller piece Just a smaller, I bet, you know, even packing paper might look kind of neat. But anyway, I would just take a smaller piece, maybe even the size of this, and do it that way versus a whole sheet, you know, and trying to tear it or whatever. I would probably just do it in smaller bits. Anyway, that would be my advice on how to do it. Not that you want it, because you can see the mess I've made here. And like I say, the only reason I didn't like the glued, I'm going to see about tearing one of these, was because of the way it feels once you re-wet it. I don't care for the sticky. Get this out of the way. It is kind of neat though. Look at the yarn showing through. It's kind of neat. And then I like to take, once it gets dry, I like taking the distress ink and kind of going over those edges that are poking up. See, I'm just not, I don't know. I think it's a lot of work and then you just tear it up. That's what I think. I don't know. Probably not even close. And you know what? I looked at Louise Heinzel's channel because she's like the queen of all the grungy that I watch. I love her grungy stuff. I thought, surely to goodness she had something on there. But if she did, it wasn't called, it was called something different. And I couldn't find it. But if you guys see a good tutorial, or, you know, what am I missing here? Why isn't this just, why do I not think this is great? I don't know. I like how it looks, but I wish I could, like, just pick it up from the store maybe and not do all this work to tear it back apart. I don't know. Anyway, I'm just going to let it dry and figure out what to do with the thin. But like on this piece, I just let these pieces stand up. I like that torn, and I inked it some to make it look a little better. Make it look a little better. I don't think it's good looking. Sorry, I'm sorry about this tutorial. maybe, maybe somebody saw something in this that they went, hey, if you did this, or I do it and it looks great, you know, I don't tear all my papers out. There's something I didn't do right. And again, I'm sure it's because I was impatient and didn't pay close enough attention or watch, you know, all the way through. I was looking for a kind of like, you know, people going on a diet, they're looking for a pill that makes them skinny tomorrow. That's kind of what I was looking for. Something to make this a really easy project really quick. I didn't get any of that. But I hate to say it, but I hope you liked this video and maybe was inspired somehow. I don't know. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. And hopefully I will see you next time. Bye.